Hey there, hippies. Welcome back. Got something super exciting for you guys today. I'm super excited to take you guys on this journey of mold making and getting this up and started. But before we get started, make sure you do hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell so that way you don't miss anything that I do put out for you guys moving forward. Alright, so what we're going to do to start out is we're just going to go ahead and unwrap our acrylic pieces. Now, I have a couple different acrylic pieces here. We have the actual tray piece and we have the housing that it sits in. Now, this is the tray part that you see me holding here. So this is what the finished piece would look like. And these pieces over here, this would be our base, and those outliner that pieces, those triangle ring looking pieces, those would be the housing. So what you see me doing is you see me removing the film from the base, the acrylic base, and I'm just going to use a weeding tool. It's actually a Cricut weeding tool. I'll make sure I do tag it below for you guys so that way you can grab it and whatnot. But I'm just making sure that I get all the protective layers off and everything. I have a logo that has my name on here, and that's what I'm pulling the little pieces off right here. Feel free to use tape if that makes it easier for you. I hear it makes it easier for a lot of people, so don't be afraid to try that route. Now I'm going to be showing you guys step by step like what I do to basically assemble this, because I'm not gonna lie, like I had a hard time like trying to figure out exactly how everything goes, like what glues and everything I'm supposed to be using. So this video right here is a tell-all, because to be honest, these mold makers do not be trying to release all the details. I'm going to be showing you guys like step by step how I do absolutely everything. So what you see me doing here is removing the film off of the base of the tray. So I removed it off the bottom side just because it makes it easier for me to line everything up. I also have one of the housings underneath the base just to kind of help use it as a guide. This glue that I'm going to be using, it's not actually a glue, it's like a bond. It's for like acrylic. All you need to do is like just puncture a hole in the top. I'm using this needle tip bottle that it came with, and I'm just going to stick that needle tip into the hole that I created, and then fill that bottle up that way. It does move a little slowly, and that's completely fine. You don't need it to move super fast. That needle is super thin, so it does take a while for it to draw up in there. But basically what you're going to do is you're just going to make sure that you do get it in there. Now be sure that your etch design is facing up, so that way you actually have the design on the bottom of your tray. Close that little needle tip down. This is kind of what it looks like. You can see how thin it is and everything. Feel free to rewind if you need to take a better look. But then you just take that needle tip and you're just going to go in a line across that seam. And guys, I'm going to let you know now that this stuff bonds super quickly. So you want to make sure that everything is lined up exactly how you need it before you just like add that weld on 4 on there. Now there are different weld ons, so do be mindful of which one that you do purchase. I'll make sure I have this one linked below, but if you're going to go try buy it in person from somewhere else, I don't know where you can get it from, because I tried Lowe's and Home Depot. I could not find it. But if you can find it somewhere else, make sure you get the weld on 4, because they all do different things. Here, I'm just bringing it in for a close-up for you guys right quick, so that way you can see like what I'm doing here and whatnot. But it pretty much just kind of seeps into the seam because this stuff is so thin, so you really do not need a lot at all. Alright, so just press that down firmly and everything. As you move, you should notice that everything is like sitting there firmly in place. Although it's not at maximum hold, you're probably not going to be able to, pull the pieces off of each other after about 30 seconds or so. So what I'm doing now is I'm just removing the film from the little front part of the tray base, and this is where like the etch design is and everything. So I'm just using that weeding tool. You guys already know how to do this, especially if you're a crafter. We do weeding with so many different things and printouts, so just pull out them negative spaces. You already know what to do. Alright hippies, so what you see me doing now is I'm going to go ahead and remove the film from the tray rim. So remember I showed you the tray pieces, there are two pieces. This is going to be the rim of the tray from when you actually cast your resin or jessamite or concrete pieces. These silicone molds are very universal and everything, so whatever you cast is going to look like this piece and that etched piece that we just put down. So what you want to do is you just want to go ahead and get this placed so that way it's completely lined up and everything's centered. So make sure you have exactly how you want it, because remember what I told you about that weld on 4. It bonds super quickly and you will not have time to fix your mistakes. So go ahead and make sure that everything is good to go now. Now, one thing that you can do just to make sure that things are, easier for you as well. These particular clips were a bit too small, but I'll show you how to use them on the outside of the housing later. If you have larger clips, you can use clips to secure everything in place before applying the weld on. If you don't have clips, the thing that I suggest doing is just adding the weld on to one tiny little area and then securing it in place there to make sure it's even up and everything. And then once it's dry, from there you can go ahead and add the weld onto the remaining sides and everything and just continue on. Make sure that you are pressing down so that way when you are casting the silicone inside of these, the silicone does not seep between the different layers. So that's what you want to prevent. Now I'm making sure that I have like everything covered, all these seams on the inside and everything. But what I'm also going to do right quick is probably go ahead and do the outside as well. So since it's secured on here, I'm able to like pick it up and you see how it doesn't move. It's nice and clear. Wiping off that tip, I'm just going along the outside seam as well, just to make sure I have an even more secure hold and everything, because with this being my first time, I don't want to make too many mistakes or anything, so I'm not trying to skip too many different parts right here. But yeah, so what we're going to do now is we're going to be working on the housing. Now the housing is going to attach directly to the base that we put on. So the base is going to be like the base of the housing. So we have two different bases. We have the housing base and we have the tray base. The tray base has the etched design on there. The housing base is that big clear triangle that sits at the bottom. Now the reason the housing is important is because this is what you're going to actually pour the silicone into, and we actually have a housing that's glued to the tray acrylic blank and everything. We have it actually like secured to the blank. You're able to actually pour the silicone on different surfaces, because if you've watched other mold making videos, you may see where they have a table and they are gluing things down to the table and things are done directly onto the table. I don't have the space to do that, so this housing is like perfect for me, because I can really pick up this housing and then pour silicone literally anywhere, which I wouldn't do because I don't want anything flying into the silicone. But yeah, so you see me just doing what I've been doing previously. I'm just adding on this weld on, making sure that everything is firmly in place. You see how I'm removing those clips and whatnot after confirming that the hold has been established. And then we're just going to move on to the next two layers. Now these next two layers, I am going to go ahead and just kind of speed this up a bit, because at this point I think you guys have a handle on how to stack the pieces on top of each other and then just glue it on. So this is just going to show you the rest of the steps so you can kind of see how the rest of it plays out, and then that way you can see what the end product looks like. Now on to the next video and everything. I'm going to be showing you guys how I actually mix silicone, how I color silicone into other amazing different colors, so that way you don't have to have that ugly green color that's really popular, and you don't also have to just have a clear one. So that's going to be super exciting. So make sure that you do check out part 2 of this series and everything. Here Now I'm just going to do some cleanup, but yeah, this is what our blank looks like. She looks really, really good, and I'm just going to let her dry. I recommend letting it dry for 24 hours. I'm not sure if you need the entire 24, but like I said, this is my first time and I don't need any oopsies or anything like that. So yeah, this is what I have right here. I'm just gonna let her dry, and then I'm going to catch you guys on the next video when I am showing you exactly what I do to mix up my silicone, how I weigh out my silicone, how I color my silicone, and then how I pour the silicone to create the mold and everything. So stay tuned, make sure you follow, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time, hippies. XO. Mwah.